So can a slingshot be used for self-defense? Is it a good self-defense weapon? Stick around and I'd like to share my thoughts. Welcome to 411 Outdoors. If you're new to this channel and you like this information and you find it helpful, I'd be really excited to have you as a subscriber. I'm a fairly new channel. I'm looking forward to bringing a lot of great content and I'd love to have you. So as a disclaimer, I'm not telling you to take my advice in this video, nor am I claiming to be an expert with regards to defense-related topics. I'm just a man who pursues the world of self-defense. I've got my own self-defense philosophies, and I like to engage in this area. And this video is mainly intended to talk about this subject and to give you some things to think about more than anything. So one of the reasons why I'm creating this video is because I know this is a question that a lot of people have. Just to share a little bit about me, I love engaging in the world of self-defense training. I love talking about self-defense related topics. I think it's just healthy. I've been regularly involved in martial arts and self-defense training almost my whole life. And I love talking about the numerous weapons that can be used in self-defense. I know that a lot of people are asking the question about whether or not a slingshot can be a viable self-defense weapon, because, you know, not everybody can get their hands on a gun. Not everybody can get the same weapons as the next man or the next woman. Okay, so people are asking these questions. One question is it even a good self-defense weapon? Is it something I could use realistically? Would it be fatal? All of these questions come to mind, and I want to challenge you to just take a step back and look at this from a common sense perspective. Anything can be a weapon. I can take a rock and turn it into a weapon. I can take a rock and turn it into a deadly weapon. I can take a stick and turn it into a deadly weapon. You can turn, so to answer your question, you can turn anything you want into a deadly weapon. Not all of these weapons are preferred. You know, you can't necessarily drag a baseball bat around the grocery store. There's certain weapons you can't carry with you, and there are certain weapons that are more effective than others. For example, it doesn't get much better than, the use of a firearm in the middle of a situation like that. My point is that any weapon, anything can be used as a deadly weapon, and many weapons have been used that way. A slingshot is a very dangerous thing. It's a very dangerous thing. It's not necessarily something that you can access very quickly. For example, if I take a piece of ammo from my slingshot, I've got to get it loaded, I've got to get it in the pouch, I've got to get it pulled back, and I've got to get here, and then I got to release. And a lot of times in real life, you just don't have that kind of time. So then you're left with the question of, what kind of scenario would I use a slingshot in? Self-defense related discussion is no game, to put it lightly. When you're going to even own a certain weapon or carry a certain weapon, you have to get familiar with state laws. You have to be familiar with whether or not you can even have that weapon. I know in some states, slingshots are not even required, they're not even allowed. So you'd have to look that up, states that don't allow, slingshots, or even the ability to own or carry one. And also too, something to consider is self-defense has a lot of implications. That's what I love so much about the organization USCCA, United States Concealed Carry Association, because they provide a lot of sobering information with regards to the implications of defending yourself in any situation. Also, they have ways to provide, legal protection for you in those situations. So these are all things you want to think about with regards to self-defense. If you ever have to defend yourself with any kind of weapon, whether it's a gun, a knife, an axe, a slingshot, a tomahawk, or even a bat, you can expect there to be legal implications. The primary use of a slingshot in today's culture is not for self-defense. It's not self-defense. Now, you can make a slingshot as powerful as you want to. There are people out there who have created slingshots that can shoot like a firearm, that are extremely deadly. You'd never want to get hit with. That's just not the kind of slingshots we carry around. The slingshots that we buy off the shelf or that we order online, the primary focus is general backyard target practice or hunting. You can hunt small game with a slingshot, squirrel, rabbits, pheasant, animals like that. And the slingshot kills with blunt force trauma. It usually doesn't penetrate. It's a blunt force shot, for those who are accurate enough to hunt with a slingshot. Can a slingshot like this be fatal? I think it could. I think it could if it hit the right place. I think there have been accidents on record where people have been, killed in the line of fire with a slingshot, accidental type of thing. So can this be fatal? Well, yeah, it can. And the strength of bands vary. One band is stronger than the next. This band set right here can haul 1/2-inch steel ammo at a pretty good pace. If all I had to defend myself was this, and I was able to load this weapon and fire it, and if it caught a perpetrator, an assailant, an attacker in the head, if it didn't kill him, he probably wished he was dead in that moment. It'd be very painful to get hit with a slingshot. In most cases, I don't believe it would be fatal. In most cases, that it would be very painful. Anybody who shoots a slingshot on a regular, that shoots steel or lead ammo, sees the kind of force it can bring. If it's all you had to defend your home or defend yourself in a situation, I think that would be an unfortunate thing. Nevertheless, it would be better than nothing. And I can tell you this much: if I have a marksman who's defending himself with a slingshot, I'm less likely to come after him, especially if I know he's good. I don't want to get hit with a slingshot round. If you're asking whether or not that I am advocating you going out and getting a slingshot to carry around to defend yourself with, I'm really not. I think there are other weapons that are more effective for everyday carry than a slingshot. Hypothetically though, if all you had at your house or out in the woods or just anywhere, if all you had was a slingshot and you had a round for that slingshot, I think it's a deterrent at best. I don't want no part of you if you're wielding a slingshot. I don't want no part of you. I don't want no part of getting hit with a slingshot, especially in the head and especially in the eyes. So I hope this has just given you some insight. I'm not recommending a slingshot for self-defense. I am saying if it's all you've got, it could be a mighty deterrent, and in some rare situations, deadly. So I hope you found this information helpful. If you're if you're getting more and more interested in self-defense, and your state allows you to carry a firearm, I would recommend, learning more about that, the possibility of purchasing a firearm, learning how to use it, learning your laws, and carrying that. But trust me, I wouldn't want to get hit by a slingshot ever, anywhere. Even these clay rounds decimate the cans that I'm shooting. So wouldn't want to get hit by one, but I can't endorse it as a prominent self-defense weapon. So I hope you found this insight helpful. Take care, my friend.